Welcome to howtocookthat.net. For a printable copy of the recipes, simply go to www.howtocookthat.net. Today we're going to look at 4 different ways of doing lettering on a cake using fondant. The first one, we're going to roll our fondant out. We've already coloured our fondant to the colour we want. If you're not sure how to colour fondant, see the video on fondant basics on howtocookthat.net. Once you've rolled it out to about that thickness, you get one of the letters that you've printed out of the computer. This method is ideal if you have a particular logo that you're doing, like the Ninjago logo on the Lego cake. It needed to match the exact font, so this is the easiest way to do that. Print it out, pop it on top of your fondant and simply cut. Again, using the pizza cutter means that it doesn't drag the fondant out of shape. And then for the smaller areas, you're going to need to use a knife. If you go up and down rather than just straight across, it will help it not to drag. It's not as good as a pizza cutter, but we can't get a pizza cutter in that smaller spot. Then we'll get that bit out. If you have any little rough edges, don't worry about them, because once the sugar paste is dry, it's easy to rub those off. Okay, if it's not quite smooth, see I bumped it there with a knife, just get your finger, give it a little rub over the top, and it will help smooth it out nicely. Put it to one side, leave it on the baking paper exactly as it is. Put it to one side on a tray, on top of the fridge or somewhere where it's not going to get damaged, and leave it to dry until it's hard. Then you can easily pick up the hard letter and place it where you want it on the cake. Say you want a finer font like this one. You can get some of your fondant and roll it until it's nice and thin and smooth. Then what you do is you simply put that over your lettering and trim it to size. We'll just squash the end. We'll put that underneath this one. You can add a bit of water on there, it'll make it stick together better if you like. Then in line with how it goes on the page, just bend it around. And cut it off. Okay, so if you had your whole word printed out, you just continue doing that and then just put it to one side and leave it to dry. Okay, the next method we're going to use is cutting it out. You can get all sorts of stencils for cutting out letters from sugar paste. Some of them are very expensive, so unless you're going to be doing a lot of the same font, then that's not very economical. These little cutters though, you can get kids cookie cutters and Play-Doh cutters very cheaply, so you can always get that sort of thing if it's going to suit your needs. Just simply push down, make sure you pushed it all the way through, pull the excess away, and then take it off. The other option is roll out a fondant square the size of what you're going to be doing it on. So that big. We want to cut out our square nice and neatly with our pizza cutter. Now you simply get a sharp pencil and trace over the writing, pressing reasonably hard or it won't come through. We're trying to imprint onto the fondant. Now of course, if you have beautiful scripted handwriting and you can space exactly without, you know exactly how long the word's going to go, then there'd be no need to do this. You could just pipe straight onto the sugar paste. But if you're like me and you need a little bit of help with the writing, making sure it's all going to be spaced perfectly and it's going to fit, then this is the cheats way of doing it. Right, and then we'll take that off. Okay, now you can see there we've got a slight indentation. It's not very deep, but it's just enough to see what we're going to be doing. Using your royal icing, the recipe for the royal icing is on the gingerbread house page of howtocookthat.net if you need the recipe for that. Just trace around where you have the indent. And there you have 4 different ways of doing lettering with fondant.